as an adjunct to my experience survival series of shorts. Basically, what do you do if you're caught out in the city somewhere? Where do you shelter? What do you do for the blast and so forth? Decided to set off a nuke in New York, and let's go on through what happens and where your chances are and what you should be doing during this time. So I've used Nuke Map. It's another excellent program that's available through the internet, well researched as to what happens if you set off a single nuke in the city of your choice and of the megatonnage of your choice. So, or kilotonnage. So, pick New York. It's a classic, going to be a classic counter value target. Uh, Unlike Washington, which is going to hit in the first wave, it'll probably be the second wave of missiles coming in. So you'll likely have some warning and time to find some cover somewhere, as long as you're quick about it. Of course, it could always be a terrorist attack. It wouldn't be this big, but the principles are the same, anyways. Who knows? Of course, if they use one of those new sub-launch Poseidon thingies, you will have very little warning, no more, because it's going to be a first strike sort of scenario. So, moving on from that. We're going to explode a 500 kiloton airburst over New York, and we're going to look at the various settings here I have for the advanced options. Also, just want to see where, okay, okay, there we go. Maybe also add dry wood just to see if it was a dry summer day, where could you get fires? Okay, so I've got all my advanced options here. And we're going to set the puppy off. Okay. Boom. There we are. The casualty count is happening over here, a lot of people. So we're looking at just under a million dead, 915,000, and just over a million injured, about 1.2 million. So that's a heck of a lot of people, but there's 10 million people in greater New York, so certain places, unless you have the bad luck of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, which we'll start with that. The fireball radius. This is the fireball radius. You see the little white line circle blinking around that. If you're there, that's it. You're toast. You're vaporized. You're history. You have to be at least a mile underground or so to survive that one. So there's no living from that. So now we'll go to the heavy blast area. That is here. This is pretty bad. Um, Even heavily built concrete buildings will be severely damaged or even collapse. Fatality rates are approaching 100%. It's very here's going to be just blind luck if you happen to be in the subway halfway down from one station to the other. Yeah, you might survive this, but really it's pretty bad. But still, I mean, that's, lower Manhattan's pretty well toast at this point. But Midtown is out of that area, Hoboken and Jersey City are. Brooklyn, for the most part, is outside of it. Anyways, so there we go. Now, however, if you're not behind cover, this is another issue. You're going to get 500 rems of radiation from the original pulse. That's not the fallout. That's just the radioactive pulse that comes out of the bomb. Not so, basically not so good. 50% fatality rates with medical treatment, closer to 100% without it. Good chance if anybody survives will die of cancer somewhere along the line too. So it's pretty bad. So, but again, if you're out in the open when this happens, it's going to be pretty bad. You're going to be fried. You would already be killed in other ways. But so it'd be, however, if you're behind some cover, but not enough, you'll still get sick from radiation, although you might survive the blast and the flash. However, if you're deep enough cover, like you've had enough warning to get to the bottom of a parkade, the basement of a major reinforced concrete high rise or steel high rise office building, or in the subway system, yeah, you could survive it. There's a lot of other things. It's going to be very heavy blast and heavy everything else like that. So there's still a chance you're going to not make it at all. So again, it's a bit of combination of luck, a lot of luck and some skill. I make it, this one. Now, 100 rems farther out is, you're going to get sick, but, very, very low chance of dying from the actual radiation. There's a lot of chance of dying for other things. So thermal radiation, this is too bad here. You're going to be, crispy critters. A lot of things are going to catch fire that are flammable. Moderate blast. This is 5 psi. If you're in a wood frame house like what I live in, it's going to be blown away. In the buildings out here, of course, all the windows are going to be gone. Any light cladding will be blowing in. So a lot of these steel and glass skyscrapers are just going to be the metal frame left. Everything else is going to be blown out, and just so it'll be just the elevator core, fire escape cores, which probably a better place to shelter than the center of this thing, because at least you'll have some coverage from all protect you from the debris and glass that's blowing through there. Um, that's going to be what that's going to look like. So you need to be in the basements again, underground. If you're above ground, your chances of being killed or severely injured are extremely significant. So moving down, we go here to the thermal radiation. This is a third-degree burn. If you're out in the open when this thing goes off, you will have third-degree burns over whatever part of your body is facing it. Um, unless you are basically so close to cover that when you see that initial flash, you can get somewhere would cast a shadow on it. Then the burns will not be as bad. But here you don't want to be in the open. If you're under cover, you're in great shape. No worries. 'Cause again, unless of course the thing is flammable, like you're in a wood frame house, in which case, boom, it's going to catch fire. So you better be able to get out. Fast after the blast goes away. Because that's the first thing we get when you get the flash and the thermal and the radiation burst, then the blast. Of course, the blast travels at the speed of sound, so about 1 mile every 5 seconds or so. So you have time between the flash and the blast to get some cover you want to be. And then finally out here, where it's not bad at all. You don't want to be out in the open. You could be hit by debris and broken glass and stuff like that. You probably get a very second degree maybe, or first degree burns from that. So this is what this looks like, and that just shows you that where if you're really in the center of this thing, it's not good. But you notice that, when you think about it, most of everything is outside. I mean, if you're in Brooklyn, Midtown, up to Harlem, the Bronx, on the Jersey Shore over here, Newark and, Jersey City and Hoboken, it's not too bad. I mean, well, Hoboken's not so good, but I mean, a little farther out around here, you've got a shot at it. And of course, down through here too. So yeah, it's not going to be good for New York. But if you have a bit of luck and are not down here, that's assuming they explode it there. I guess why it picks that is because it's the financial district, so for it really would cripple America financially, and also close enough to do some damage to the harbor. But if you're kind of farther out, say Midtown, Union City, Brooklyn, Harlem, you have a good shot at surviving if you keep your wits about you and you know what to do. Again, there's no guarantees, but there it is. So, this again is the adjunct to my Expedient Survival series, which I will link to in my end card. And do subscribe and like and make comments. And if you have questions, I will endeavor to answer them, both in the comment itself as well as making a follow up video. Bye for now.